Hi everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are clearing up a very common confusion. What's the difference between a pressure switch and a pressure transmitter, and when should you use each? Both are used for pressure control, but their working principles, accuracy, and applications are completely different. Let's break it down step by step with real industrial examples. Let's start with the basics. A pressure switch is an on-off control device. It opens or closes an electrical circuit when a set pressure is reached. Example, in an air compressor, when tank pressure reaches the upper limit, the switch turns the motor off. A pressure transmitter, on the other hand, gives a continuous electrical output signal, usually 4 to 20 milliamperes or 0 to 10 volts DC. It tells your PLC or controller exactly how much pressure is in the system, not just on or off. In a pressure switch, system pressure acts on a diaphragm or piston, which pushes against a spring mechanism. When the set point is reached, the spring tension activates a microswitch, changing the electrical contact. It's purely mechanical. In a pressure transmitter, pressure acts on a sensor diaphragm, often piezoresistive, that converts the pressure into a proportional electrical signal. So in short, a switch gives a binary output, on-off, while a transmitter gives a continuous analog signal. When it comes to accuracy, the transmitter wins. A Baumer CTX pressure transmitter can deliver accuracy up to plus or minus 0.25% of full scale, while a Baumer UT pressure switch typically varies around plus or minus 1% to plus or minus 2%. Transmitters also have faster response times, within milliseconds, whereas switches depend on spring movement, which is slightly slower. However, remember, transmitters need a power supply and signal wiring, while switches do not. In terms of cost, pressure switches are much more economical and simpler to install. Transmitters are more expensive, but they offer continuous monitoring, better accuracy, and remote data transmission. Maintenance-wise, switches require only occasional cleaning or contact checks, while transmitters require periodic calibration and clean sensing ports for stable performance. Let's take an example, an industrial air compressor. If your goal is only to turn the motor off when the tank pressure reaches 8 bar, a Baumer UT pressure switch is the perfect solution, simple and reliable. But if you also want to monitor and record pressure data on a PLC or SCADA system, you'll need a Baumer CTX pressure transmitter. In many plants, both are used together, the switch for control and the transmitter for monitoring and data logging. Let's quickly summarize everything with a field selection guide. Here's how you decide which device fits your application best. If your requirement is simple on-off control, go with a pressure switch. It's mechanical, reliable, and doesn't need any external power. But if you need continuous pressure monitoring, or want to integrate your system with a PLC or SCADA, then the pressure transmitter is the right choice. When you're looking for a low-cost, easy-to-maintain solution, choose a pressure switch. However, if high accuracy and data precision matter more, go for a pressure transmitter. And for safety interlocks or critical applications, the best practice is to use both together, the switch for control and the transmitter for monitoring. So depending on your application, you can choose one or combine both to keep your process accurate, efficient, and protected. If you'd like to see how each of these devices works internally, check out our detailed videos on the Baumer UT pressure switch and CTX transmitter. Links are in the description.